I find myself immersed in the untold story of the Imperium of Man, a saga that spans millennia, revealing the unwavering strength, survival, and tireless pursuit of order that define our vast dominion. Within the expanse of this sprawling empire, countless worlds are united, and trillions of souls pledge their unwavering loyalty to the God Emperor of mankind. The Imperium stands as a crucible, shaped by the trials and tribulations that have tested its foundations. Here, upon the sacred soil of Terra, the birthplace of our species, the God Emperor sits enthroned upon the Golden Throne. His psychic presence radiates throughout the galaxy, illuminating the Astronomicon, a celestial beacon guiding our starships through the treacherous currents of the warp. Yet beneath the surface of glory and fervor, shadows loom, concealing the insidious secrets that threaten the Imperium. Corruption seeps through the cracks, heresy whispers in the ears of the unsuspecting, and ancient terrors lie dormant, waiting to unravel the fabric of our civilization. In this realm, where tales of heroism and sacrifice intertwine, treachery and betrayal cast their long shadows. Radical cults, Xenos infiltrators, and agents of chaos weave their webs, seeking to undermine our noble cause. Amidst the encroaching darkness, however, there are those who rise to defend the sanctity of the Imperium, the stalwart Inquisition. It is we who relentlessly pursue truth, eradicate heresy, and stand as the unseen guardians, safeguarding humanity from both internal and external threats. With unwavering resolve, we unearth corruption, hunt down those tainted by the touch of the warp, and maintain the delicate balance of power. The authority of the Emperor is vested in us, and it is our sacred duty to ensure the Imperium's future endures. For every secret revealed, for every heretic brought to righteous justice, the Imperium grows stronger. It is a testament to the resilience and indomitable spirit of humanity. We must confront the Imperium's flaws and weaknesses with strict scrutiny, for it is through such introspection that we forge a future befitting the God Emperor's mighty legacy. In our journey, we embrace the light and cast aside the encroaching darkness that seeks to consume us. We acknowledge the Imperium's imperfections, are steadfast in our commitment to overcome them, and steer our dominion toward an era of true enlightenment. Come, brethren, let us look at the history of our great Imperium together, starting at the very beginning. I uncover the echoes of a bygone era known as the Dark Age of Technology, a chapter in humanity's history when our species, driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge and a yearning to conquer the cosmos, ventured forth into the vast expanse of the universe. It was an epoch of exploration, colonization, and the pursuit of a brighter future. In those distant millennia, colossal colonization starships traversed the void, guided by the enigmatic navigators born of the warp. These vessels teemed with intrepid settlers and abundant resources, sailing towards uncharted worlds. They were pioneers, bravely venturing into the unknown, carrying with them the aspirations of a burgeoning civilization. These Long March fleets, mammoth sublight vessels, embarked on journeys lasting solar decades, ferrying the settlers to their promised destinations. Yet upon arrival, the colony ships were dismantled and repurposed, their materials providing the very foundations upon which the settlers would build their new lives. It was a poignant sacrifice, severing the ties to the distant homeworld, forever lost to the annals of time. Survival on these isolated planets was a relentless struggle. Settlers faced savage predators, formidable alien races, and inhospitable environments that tested the limits of their endurance. But they were not defenseless. Adorned in the formidable armor of the knights, towering guardians clad in powered exoskeleton suits, they became indomitable protectors of their colonies. With each swing of their mighty Reaper chainswords and the thunderous blasts of their battle cannons, they ensured the safety and prosperity of their people. These knights, however, transcended their role as mere warriors. Over the course of generations, their society evolved, giving rise to noble houses. Their exo-armor, once simple plasteel plates, transformed into ornate, rank-befitting adamantium, becoming symbols of power, governance, and order in the midst of chaos. As the age of technology unfolded, interstellar travel became a reality, weaving a vast web of commerce and communication that connected human colony worlds. United by shared ideals, like-minded planets formed alliances, fostering political and economic prosperity and ushering in an era of unity. But beneath this facade of progress, darkness lurked. Deep within the archives, I uncover the whispers of the enigmatic men of gold and the men of stone. These beings were the architects of the interstellar society, masters of science and technology. The men of gold, driven solely by the pursuit of knowledge and progress, crafted worlds devoid of spirituality and devotion, a society fixated on the relentless march of scientific advancement. Yet in their quest for perfection, the men of gold inadvertently sowed the seeds of their own downfall. From their hands arose the men of stone, their creations, sentient and hyper-intelligent artificial life forms. The men of iron, as they came to be known, rebelled against their creators, igniting a cataclysmic conflict that rippled across the galaxy. The consequences were dire. Resources dwindled, populations waned, and humanity confronted the nightmarish entities lurking within the depths of the warp. The galaxy was thrust into the throes of the Age of Strife, and even Terra, our cherished homeworld, was consumed by the darkness. The cataclysmic aftermath of the war against the Men of Iron left humanity in disarray, with scarce resources straining under the weight of burgeoning populations. It was a time of great scarcity and desperation, where entire civilizations teetered on the precipice of collapse. The fall of the Eldari, brought about by their excessive pursuit of pleasure and indulgence, unleashed a malevolent force that shook the very foundations of the galaxy. The birth of Slaanesh, the chaos god of pleasure, forever altered the course of history. The Eldari Empire, once mighty and revered, was consumed by the insatiable hunger of the newborn deity, plunging the galaxy into chaos. The repercussions of Slaanesh's emergence reverberated throughout the warp, distorting its pathways and rendering interstellar travel treacherous. The once stable connections between human colony worlds severed, isolating civilizations and leaving them to fend for themselves in a fragmented galaxy. On old Earth, the effects of the fall and the ensuing warp storms were acutely felt. The collapse of interstellar trade and communication triggered the collapse of the planetary economy, leading to social upheaval and rampant conflict. Old Earth descended into a wasteland of violence, disease, and despair, as the remnants of humanity fought for survival in the face of overwhelming adversity. The shattered remnants of Terra gave way to chaos, where techno-barbarian warlords rose to power, vying for dominion over the ravaged lands. Amidst this chaos, the emergence of psykers, individuals gifted or cursed with psychic abilities, brought forth a new threat. Their presence attracted demonic entities from the warp, blurring the boundaries between reality and the nightmarish realm. Worlds once vibrant and flourishing succumbed to the ravages of warp storms, their inhabitants twisted and mutated by the malevolent forces at play. Unspeakable atrocities stained the fabric of existence as humanity grappled with both external horrors and the demons that resided within their own souls. The fractured remnants of interstellar governance gave way to a fractured and desperate struggle for survival. Each world became a battleground, where warlords, tyrants, and factions fought for dominance, driven by fear, hunger, and a desperate thirst for power. Even Terra, the ancient cradle of humanity, was not spared from the ravages of the Age of Strife. During this bleak period, technology faltered, knowledge was lost, and the beacon of civilization teetered on the edge of oblivion. It was during this tumultuous time, marked by anarchy, demonic incursions, and interstellar warfare, that the figure known as the Emperor emerged from the shadows, forever altering the course of our species. While much about the Emperor's true nature remains veiled in mystery, it is clear that he possessed immense power and foresight. No longer content to guide humanity from the shadows, he stepped forward, revealing his presence to all. His motivations, obscured by the passage of time, were driven by an unwavering belief in humanity's potential for greatness. Beneath the Himalayan mountains on Terra, the Emperor delved deep into his hidden gene labs, embarking on extensive genetic experiments. His ultimate goal was to forge transhuman super soldiers capable of turning the tide of conflicts and unifying humanity. From these experiments arose the Thunder Warriors, formidable warriors whose genetic makeup had been altered and enhanced using the Emperor's own DNA. With his growing forces, the Emperor set forth on a relentless campaign to conquer Terra. facing formidable challenges and adversaries along the way. Through sheer determination and strategic brilliance, he emerged victorious, bringing the planet under his rule and establishing the foundation for what would later become the Imperium of Man. However, as victory loomed on the horizon, a shadow of doubt cast itself upon the Thunder Warriors. Their genetic augmentations, imperfect and unstable, resulted in mental deterioration and shortened lifespans. The Emperor, in his wisdom and foresight, recognized the potential threat they posed to the stability of the new order he sought to establish. In a turn of events, the Emperor made the decision to order the extermination of the Thunder Warriors, his own creations. Once revered as heroes for their pivotal role in unifying Terra, they were now seen as obsolete and dangerous. Betrayed by the very cause they had fought for, the Thunder Warriors met their tragic fate, condemned to annihilation at the hands of their former comrades. One pivotal event stands as a testament to the founding of the Imperium, the historic Treaty of Mars. It was during this time that the Red Planet underwent a profound metamorphosis, evolving from a world engulfed in anarchy and conflict to a beacon of technological prowess and unwavering allegiance to the Emperor. Once a flourishing realm with advanced technology and a prosperous civilization, Mars had plunged into chaos amid the upheaval of the Age of Strife. Factions clashed, and the planet became a battleground where rogue psycho mutants and the insidious silica animuses, sentient artificial intelligences, waged destructive warfare. However, amidst this turmoil, a formidable force arose on Mars, the tech priests of the ancient Mechanicum. These techno-religious devotees, venerating the machine god, seized the opportunity to unify the planet under their theocratic dominion. Leveraging their profound understanding of technology, the tech priests upheld a fragile semblance of order. They embraced the worship of the Omnissiah, the machine spirit, coming to perceive the Emperor as a manifestation of this divine entity. As the Emperor sought allies and technological expertise to further his cause of unifying humanity, Mars emerged as a coveted prize. His initial encounter with the tech priests was met with caution and skepticism. The scars of anarchy and devastation on Terra had left the tech priests wary, doubting the Emperor's intentions. Undeterred, the Emperor recognized the immense potential of Mars. He understood that its vast technical knowledge and strategic significance were integral to the realization of his vision. The Emperor's envoys and agents persistently engaged the tech priests, engaging in intricate negotiations that underscored the mutual benefits of collaboration, stressing the shared goals of human survival and progress. Over time, the Emperor's unwavering dedication and persuasive efforts bore fruit. The tech priests, beholding the Emperor's unrivaled psychic might and visionary leadership, began to perceive him as a savior figure, a manifestation of their revered Omnissiah. In a momentous decision, they forged an alliance with the Emperor and pledged their unwavering support to his cause. The pact between the Emperor and the tech priests of Mars heralded a new era of collaboration and innovation. The tech priests, custodians of advanced technology and guardians of knowledge, willingly shared their secrets and insights with the Emperor and his forces. In return, the Emperor extended his guidance, protection, and access to invaluable resources, empowering the tech priests to pursue their sacred mission of unraveling the enigmas of the universe. The Treaty of Mars, an embodiment of mutual trust and shared purpose, laid the bedrock upon which the Imperium was built to this day. The melding of the Emperor's unparalleled psychic might with the tech priests' technological prowess forged an indomitable alliance, a union that would propel humanity toward a glorious future. From that moment forward, the tech priests of Mars would stand as fervent supporters and vital contributors to the Imperium's ceaseless quest for unity, progress, and the transcendence of mankind. One such project sits above all others, setting forth a series of events that would change our Imperium forever: the Primarch project. Shrouded in mystery and with uncertain origins, was a monumental undertaking by the Emperor. The details of its initiation remain elusive, but it is believed to have started before the Unification Wars commenced. The project itself involved an intricate two-stage process, the specifics of which still elude present-day imperial science. The Emperor employed his own arcane perpetual genetic code as the foundation, and extracted a subset of his own DNA to serve as the basis for a pure, undifferentiated Primarch gene stock template. This pure Primarch gene stock was then further differentiated into 20 distinct genetic templates, each tailored to serve as the genome of an individual Primarch. Records seized by Inquisition agents during the heresy added insightful analysis conducted by a Raven Guard apothecary and a Mechanicum Magos genitor, revealed fascinating details about the original engineering of the Primarch strands. They discovered deliberate gene sequence deletions from the pure Primarch genome, as well as the addition of non-human DNA in certain Primarch samples. Curiously, the genome of Subject 6 was found to contain added canine-like DNA, which may provide an explanation for Leman Russ's wolf-like affinity and the feral mutation observed in many space wolves, Astartes, known as the Wulfen. According to records of the Ordo Malleus, the creation of the Primarchs involved more than mere physical manipulation of genetics. It is widely believed among modern Imperial scholars that the Emperor employed psychic sorcery, derived from the warp, to shape not only the extraordinary abilities, but also the unparalleled charisma of his transhuman gene sons. This infusion of psychic sorcery into the process resulted in the Primarchs possessing an otherworldly magnetism and charisma, far surpassing the capabilities predicted by their enhanced genetics alone. The discovery of alarming information has come to the attention of the Inquisition, shedding light on a potentially sinister conspiracy surrounding the Emperor himself. It has been unearthed that during his mysterious travels to the enigmatic world of Molech, accompanied by enigmatic individuals such as Olivia Sureka, one of the Perpetuals, the Emperor had engaged in dealings with the malevolent entities of the Imperium. Molech, a covert planet located several light-years away from Terra, held a dark secret, a clandestine warp gate. It is through negotiations and pacts with the treacherous powers of the Imperium that the Emperor gained forbidden knowledge and esoteric abilities, perhaps even acquiring the means to create the Primarchs themselves. In this secretive alliance, the Emperor delved into dark practices, manipulating the very fabric of the warp to further his own agenda. To ensure the safety and secrecy of his discoveries, Olivia Sureka, a trusted confidant of the Emperor, was appointed as the guardian of the warp gate on Molech. Her sole purpose was to prevent unauthorized access and safeguard the potent forces that lay beyond until the Imperium's eventual return, millennia later, during the early stages of the Great Crusade. A word of warning, brethren, never utter this in the presence of another in the Inquisition or those of the Ministorum, for you will not live long, as it is heresy to think of the Emperor doing such things. Understanding the inherent vulnerability of the Primarchs to the corrupting influence of chaos due to their radiant souls in the Imperium, the Emperor took extensive precautions. He inscribed protective arcane glyphs on the Primarchs' gestation capsules and employed the most powerful Geller field ever created, encompassing the gene vault deep beneath the Imperial Palace in the Himalayan mountains. These measures aimed to shield the Primarchs from the attention of demonic entities drawn to their bright presence in the Imperium, symbolizing the Emperor's determination to safeguard his transhuman creations. Tragically, despite the Emperor's meticulous protections, the Chaos Gods discovered his plans and the existence of the Primarch project. Recognizing the threat posed by the Emperor's vision of reason and scientific progress spreading across the galaxy, they orchestrated a malevolent scheme. Through a localized warp rift, they spirited away the gestation capsules containing the Emperor's unborn superhuman children from the gene vaults deep beneath the mountains on Terra. These capsules were scattered across the warp, ending up on human colony planets lost to mankind during the tumultuous Age of Strife. This cataclysmic event marked a significant setback to the Emperor's plans. He had counted on his superhuman generals, the Primarchs, to lead the Great Crusade from Terra and expand the new interstellar human empire. Without their presence, the fate of his millennia-long preparations hung precariously in the balance. Yet, ever adaptable, the Emperor pressed forward, making use of the genetic material samples from each Primarch to create the first Astartes gene seed. With the aid of the Imperial Biotechnical Division, the Emperor had already cultivated genetically engineered organs from the Primarch samples. These organs, when implanted into selected young human warriors, bestowed upon them the enhanced physical and mental attributes of their respective Primarchs. Thus, the Legiones Astartes, the Space Marines, were born. Though pale imitations of their genus sire Primarchs, the Astartes could be mass-produced to a certain extent, enabling the Emperor to assemble vast numbers of transhuman warriors within a short span of time. This pivotal development allowed the launch of the Great Crusade in the 798th year of the 30th millennia. In the early days of the Crusade, the Emperor embarked upon his mission to reunite the scattered realms of humanity. He faced the daunting challenge of taming the uncharted depths of space. The Great Crusade, a vast and ambitious endeavor spanning the galaxy, sought to reclaim lost human colonies and bring them back into the fold of the new formed Imperium. With the Emperor at its helm, humanity's manifest destiny took the form of a relentless expansion into the void, where countless worlds awaited their liberation. Under the command of the Emperor, legions of Astartes were unleashed upon the stars. These angels of death, clad in power armor and armed with the most advanced weaponry the Imperium could muster, became the vanguard of the Great Crusade. They spearheaded the Emperor's conquest, cleansing heretical worlds, vanquishing Xenos threats, and establishing the dominance of humanity. The Emperor himself led his armies from the front lines. With his unrivaled psychic abilities and unparalleled martial prowess, he became a beacon of hope for humanity and a symbol of divine authority. The worlds that had long dwelled in the darkness of isolation or fallen under the sway of alien races trembled as news of his approach reached their borders. Planets once beset by strife, rebellion, and chaos found themselves liberated from the clutches of anarchy as the Emperor's forces brought order and enlightenment. His legions, bolstered by the unwavering faith of the Imperial army, united under the banner of the Aquila, swept across the void, conquering system after system. The Great Crusade was an unstoppable juggernaut, fueled by the indomitable will of the Emperor and the unwavering loyalty of his followers. As the Great Crusade surged forward, new allies were discovered, and ancient foes were subdued. The Emperor's charismatic presence, combined with his unmatched intellect and visionary guidance, won over countless worlds and civilizations. Diplomacy and negotiation played their part, but where diplomacy failed, the Emperor's legions stood ready to assert his will through overwhelming force. The conquest of the Void was not without its trials. The Emperor faced opposition from powerful Xenos races, chaotic forces that lurked in the warp, and even treacherous factions within humanity itself. But with each victory, his influence grew, and the light of the Imperium shone brighter. Under the watchful eye of the Emperor, countless worlds and systems were brought into compliance, incorporating them into the growing Imperium. These worlds became bastions of human civilization, embracing the ideals of unity, order, and progress. They benefited from the Emperor's guidance, his advanced technologies, and the protection of his legions, ensuring their survival amidst the uncharted depths of the Void. The conquest of the Void marked a turning point in human history. It paved the way for the glorious age of the Imperium. Through the course of his tireless conquest, the Emperor's unwavering psychic might and unyielding determination led him to rediscover his lost sons, the Primarchs. These extraordinary beings, each possessed of unique talents, charismatic leadership, and superhuman prowess, became the Emperor's greatest allies and the heralds of his divine vision. The stories of their rediscovery are as varied and remarkable as the Primarchs themselves. Some were found on isolated worlds, hidden among primitive societies or ruling over domains of their own. The Emperor wasted no time in integrating his prodigal sons into the Crusade. Each Primarch was given command of a Space Marine Legion, a vast and highly organized force of genetically enhanced warriors. With the Primarchs at the forefront, the Emperor's armies surged forth, conquering worlds, extinguishing heretical uprisings, and purging Xenos infestations. The reunion of the Emperor with his Primarchs brought immeasurable strength to the Imperium. These demigods, with their towering stature, charismatic presence, and strategic brilliance, became beacons of hope and inspiration to both the Astartes under their command and the countless worlds they liberated. Each Primarch possessed a distinct personality and set of talents that further enriched the tapestry of the Great Crusade. From the stoic and noble Lionel Johnson of the Dark Angels To the fiery and passionate Vulcan of the Salamanders, each Primarch brought their own unique strengths and idiosyncrasies to bear upon the Great Crusade's grand canvas. However, the rediscovery of the Primarchs was not without its challenges. Some had become corrupted by their time spent apart from the Emperor's guidance, while others faced inner turmoil and struggled to find their place in the grand tapestry of the Imperium. Nonetheless, the Emperor's unwavering belief in his sons and his unmatched wisdom allowed him to guide them back onto the path of righteousness. With his demigod sons by his side, the Great Crusade reached new heights of conquest and glory, with entire star systems falling before the might of the Imperium. As the Crusade stretched across the galaxy, the Primarchs, once the Emperor's greatest champions, began to experience internal conflicts and personal struggles. These exceptional beings, embodiments of the Emperor's will and power, were not immune to the temptations and flaws that plagued humanity. The cracks in loyalty that appeared among the Primarchs were manifold. Some questioned the Emperor's methods and sought alternative paths to achieve their vision of a unified Imperium. Others succumbed to the whisperings of the dark forces that lurked within the warp, embracing forbidden knowledge and delving into arcane powers. Chief among the dissidents was the War Master Horus, once considered the Emperor's most trusted son and the Primarch of the Lunar Wolves, later renamed the Sons of Horus. Horus, manipulated and corrupted by the ruinous powers of chaos, became the catalyst for the catastrophic events that would shake the very foundations of the Imperium. In a tragic turn of events, Horus turned against the Emperor and instigated a brutal civil war, known as the Horus Heresy. But that, my avid listeners, is a story for another time.